Ngayon, para tulungan tayong himay-himayin ang mga balitang ito, makakausap natin live via Zoom ang veteran sports journalist at combat sports analyst. Walang iba kundi ang nag-iisang Nissy Icasiano.
A pleasant morning, Nissy. Thank you for your time and welcome back to PTV Sports.
Good morning, Jing. Good morning, Meg. Good morning din sa mga nanonood ng PTV Sports.
Now, I'm sure a lot of us are curious, ano ba yung first thoughts mo when you heard about the news from Yumir? But you know what, he also expressed yung kanyang desire to represent the Philippines in the Asian Games, but at the same time, to still pursue yung kanyang nalalapit na professional tournament or professional fight.
I was pretty surprised, Meg, to be honest. Kasi one positive that was pretty surprised. Kasi one positive that na nakita ko na ginawa ng ABAP is that we're keeping the squad small or the lineup for the Asian Games. So that means that the Philippines is sending only its best boxers who are ready to face the toughest competition in Asia. And that includes Yumir Marshall. So it's interesting because one, we're aiming to get our first gold medal in boxing at the Asian Games. And it's interesting kasi kaya ako sinabing it's interesting because the last Filipino boxer to win an Asian Games gold medal was Yumir Marshall. Now, there's a possibility that we're going to miss his service for this fight. So, malaki siyang palaisipan sa akin kung makakaabot siya. Malaking palaisipan din sa akin kung sino ang posibleng sabihin natin na suitable na pumalit sa kanya. Although, ang napag-uusapan na dito ay si Weljon Mindoro, malaki rin siyang palaisipan sa akin kung aabot si Weljon Mindoro kasi yung laban niya is scheduled on August 29 and the opposition that he's facing is no joke kasi ang mga kalaban niya si Carlos Ocampo na merong roughly, if my memory serves me correctly, he is a 42-fight veteran with 26 knockouts. So, if you're going to compare it side by side dun sa resume ni Weljon Mindoro, mas active and mas experience yung makakalaban ni Weljon Mindoro. So, the tricky part here in Nagoya, kung may ipapalit kay Yumir Marshall, hindi rin kailangan din in the same weight class. So, malaki yung kailangan isipin ng ABAP heading towards Nagoya or heading towards the Asian Games.
It's a tough spot to be in and alam naman natin, no, kahit August 29 yung laban ni Weljon Mindoro, if he gets hurt in that fight, the chances na makasunod pa siya sa Asian Games will be quite slim. And this is the problem, no, when you are juggling your amateur and professional career. Sa tingin mo, what led to Marshall accepting the fight to compete in the pro ranks so close to the Asian Games, which we all know he's been preparing for the last few months?
Well, one, huwag nating kalimutan that ang priority ng isang Yumir Marshall ngayon is the professional ranks. Kung babalikan natin, even prior nung na-reschedule yung Tokyo Olympics, he turned pro during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic in 2020. So, nandun na talaga yung plano niya to turn pro. But at the same time, marami tayong dapat i-consider dito kasi he's holding the international middleweight title, which is a major factor kung bakit may decision na ginawa si Yumir Marshall of, let's say, taking this professional fight prior, or sabihin, putting this or prioritizing this over his national duty. Pero I don't think it is a point that I think Marshall is at a point where he has to balance two identities. The Olympian who still wants to serve the national team and the undefeated professional champion ngayon, na kahit sabihin natin hindi pa world title yung hawak niya, na trying to establish himself on the world stage. So the decision appears to be part of that transition rather than a rejection of an amateur boxing or national duty.
Now, as you mentioned, Marshall is now defending his WBC International Middleweight title. At alam mo naman natin ito that it needs to have like mag-set ng isang mandatory defense deadlines. So, did the sanctioning body mandate force Marshall to prioritize this fight over his amateur duties?
Let's shed light on that kasi yes, the WBC International or other regional or secondary regional affiliate titles must be defended within a set time frame. Usually nangyayari yan 8 to 10 months, or the title pag hindi na depensan will automatically be vacated by any governing body such as the WBC. Kasi let's go back to its purpose. Though it is different from a world title, ang true purpose nito, ang function talaga nito is just a commercial stepping stone, or for a lack of a better term to describe it, on the part of the governing body is just a revenue generator rather than an indicator of elite global status. Pero right now, kay Yumir Marshal, syempre, ang purpose nito is to maximize kung ano yung title, ano yung pwede niyang magamit dito to bolster, or let's say to be a springboard for his career. Kasi these belts are designed as stepping stones to global ranking. So mas madali sila makakapasok sa top 15, sa top 10. So keeping them active is required to maintain eligibility for higher, for higher tier competition or world title eliminator. So yun din naman yung goal ni Yumir Marshal. At the same time, if I'm not mistaken, 31 years old, turning 31 si Yumir this year. So medyo may catch-up na kailangan gawin si Yumir Marshal. Lalo, ang huling laban niya was against Eddie Colmenares noong October of last year pa, during the Trillia in Manila anniversary.
And that was an interesting fight ni na medyo na-drop si Marshal twice, going on to win that victory. The pro ranks, hindi siya joke, right? It's gonna be a completely different ball game, or so to speak, for Yumir Marshal. No? So, parang sinabi nga ni ABA President na it's like a sprinter going into a middle kind of length run, right? So different styles for the pro ranks, different style din para sa amateur ranks. Sa palagay mo, si Yumir Marshal bilang isang tao na gusto rin lumaban sa 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, paano niya ba talaga realistically mababalance ang two sides of boxing in order to represent the country and also at 31 push to see how far he can go sa pro ranks?
Yeah, that's a fair point, Jing, kasi there's a significant difference between professional boxing and the Olympic style. Tama yung description na ginamit mo. Talaga siya para siya multi-distance race and training from a sprint, because you have to win. You have to make a dent dun sa time frame na binigay, kasi 3 rounds, tapos compared dun sa boxing, sa professional boxing na napakahaba, it's either 10 or 12. So right now, nakikitaan pa din natin si Yumir Marshal, which is a commendable trait on his part, na kahit pa paano he could still switch, he could still adapt dun sa laro ng Olympic style boxing. Kasi since 2020, nagagawa pa rin niya medyo napataas lang din yung kilay natin sa professional pa, because of this Eddie Colmenares fight last year. So dun tayo nakabalanse ngayon. So saan siya talaga mas nagtatribe? Is it the Olympic style format or is it the professional boxing? Kasi dalawang magkaibang dynamics kung titignan natin. The preparation, the pacing, and demands are different. So right now, it's a very tricky part on the part of Yumir Marshal. So right now, hindi ko naman nakikitaan yung problema, hindi ko nakikitaan ng, let's say, it's a tall order for Yumir Marshal to switch. Ngayon talaga, ang malaking katanungan natin dito is he would make it in Nagoya this September.
Mm-hmm. Now, Nisi, in your opinion, sakaling hindi makasama si Yumir Marshal sa Asian Games, do you think Olympic silver medalist Carlo Paalam and bronze medalist Ira Villegas be able to carry the extra pressure of delivering results as the primary flag bearers for the Philippine boxing?
I think we have a very solid lineup for the upcoming Asian Games, and I'm confident about our chances winning the elusive gold medal. Yun nga, nabanggit nyo kanina, we have Carlo Paalam competing at 55 kilograms. My memory serves me correctly. Nesty Petesio at 60 kilograms. Tapos you have Ira Villegas. Tapos alam ko, kasama din sa lineup si Marjo Pianyar. 70 kilograms naman siya. So these are proven boxers who have already competed at the highest level. So I'm confident in this lineup. I believe ABAP is also considering 2023 SEA Games gold medalist na si Paul Bascon. Siya yung nanalo noong 2023 na nag-backflip to celebrate his gold medal victory. Tapos andito rin sa lineup si my memory serves me correctly, si Jun Miliardo Ogaire. Ang isa sa mga claim to fame dito kay Ogaire was his victory earlier this year. It was an exhibition amateur fight against Carlo Paalam. So we already looking at a very solid lineup. Pero sa akin, my biggest concern is the women's side because their division is the divisions or the brackets kung saan sila lalaban are extremely competitive. Kasi kung si Nesty na lang has a particular difficult bracket, depende sa magiging positioning because meron siya dito, makakalaban si Priya Ganghas, tapos yung Chinese na si Yang Wenlu, na if my memory serves me correctly, is the defending champion in this bracket. Tapos si Ira Villegas faces a tough challenge dun sa bracket niya because of Wu Yu, who is the gold medalist dun sa Olympics in this division. Tapos may promising prospect na sa galing din ng India na si Saksi Chadhari. So while I'm confident that we have a strong chance winning gold, I'm more worried about the women's brackets because of the quality of competition that they will face. Still, with the experience and pedigree of this lineup, I believe Philippines has a legitimate shot at bringing home that elusive Asian Games gold medal in boxing.
Fantastic. No? So it's still a deep lineup para sa Pilipinas in terms of boxing, but of course, stiff competition when it comes to the Asian Games. Now, kabig naman tayo, Nisi, no? Lipat tayo sa MMA kung saan babalik na si Stephen Loman into MMA. It's been such a long wait. September 2023, yung last niya na laban kontra kay John Lineker sa One Championship. Ngayon, may kalaban siya na highly active opponent. And, first of all, bakit nga ba napakatagal na hindi lumaban itong si Stephen? And sa tingin mo ba yung ring rust magiging malaking factor heading into a match against a fighter so busy in this fight in Brave?
I will just remove the safety net here, Jane, kasi I'm happy that he's finally fighting again after 3 years. Pero wag nating kakalimutan yung 2 taon na yon were largely due to the circumstances that he had with One Championship. Malaking palesepan pa rin yun bakit 2 taon siyang ginarahe ng One Championship, kasi we're talking about one of the best bantamweights. Tapos after that fight against John Lineker, hindi na siya nakalaban ulit. So you're taking 2 years away from possibly the prime ng isang legitimate Filipino mixed martial artist. So, kung ano man ang kinakaharap ni Stephen Loman at Brave CF 108 on September 5, I think this is an all or nothing fight for the sniper. Kasi marami tayong variables to consider, and one of the biggest is ring rust. Mas active yung nakalaban niya, and during that span, eto nga si Lasha Abramishvili, mas naging active. Won 8 straight fights, 6 of them by stoppage, at 3 dito happened on the big stage sa Brave pa. So during that span, sabang si Stephen Loman ay nakatenga, mas naging active. Another factor here is not kung yung form, yung activity ni Lasha Abramishvili, it's not just bringing Stephen Loman or to ease him to competition. So that is why this is such a dangerous fight for Stephen. But if he wins here, it could be a redemption story like no other. A victory would immediately put him back in the conversation. At the same time, bakante yung Brave CF Bantamweight title. At wag nating kakalimutan, he was the inaugural Brave CF Bantamweight World Champion. So it could potentially earn him the next shot at the vacant title.
Now, with Loman being the inaugural and longest reigning Brave CF Bantamweight champion, and Abramishvili holding the number 2 spot, will the winner immediately challenge current champion Borislav Zombie Nikolic?
Borislav Nikolic is no longer with Brave CF. That's why it's vacant. Yeah, he is now part of the UFC. Yun yung naging decision. It was a short notice offer from the UFC, so kaya niya binitawan din yung belt to join the UFC. But definitely, to answer your question, Meg, definitely, kung sino ang manalo dito between Lasha Abramishvili and Stephen Loman, definitely would position them for a shot at the vacant Brave CF Bantamweight title.
So big stakes para kay Stephen Loman, off the shelf finally and able to get back into action. Nisi, maraming salamat sa oras na ibinigay mo sa amin ngayong umaga to talk about Yumir Marshall and of course Stephen Loman. Always a pleasure.
It's also a pleasure, Meg and Jing, and more power to PTV Sports.
Thank you.